People, how are you doing? You are welcome to another thrilling episode of The Squash with Mabel. Hope you are doing great. If this is the first time listening, thank you so very much for clicking that link. And if you are a regular, thank you for sticking with me. For the past few weeks, we've been talking of emotions, basically, ways to make you grow, ways to treat people, and how it affects your mental health. And today we are doing the exact same thing. Today we are going to talk on sympathy. Yes, sympathy. Just like I said when we did the episode kindness, a lot of us know what it is, but not a lot of us practice it. So sympathy, basically showing emotions or relating to people's sadness or misfortune. Yes, basically that is what it is. And we decided to talk about sympathy today. A lot has been going on, and by God's grace, I'm able to, coming to UAE, I've been able to interact with people of different nationalities and know how they think or know how they react. And it's amazing. It's really an amazing experience. But before I dive into that, I saw a post I saw a post last week about a woman who lost her 5 kids one day, and I was in so much pain because it's not easy to lose one child, but she lost 5 kids in one day. Then I went to the comment section and people were talking, where was she, why did she leave her kids, what was so important that she had to leave the kids alone, and all of that, which is understandable for you to have questions. But before you have these questions, what's the first thing? It's imagine her pain, what she is going through, to lose her whole world in a matter of how many seconds. Let that sink in. Now, I say before you react to a situation or something, picture yourself in that person's shoes. If it was you, how would you react? And there were a lot of comments, oh, she's careless and she's all this. But that's just an instance. I started because it's very recent news, let me put it like that. And I can't even imagine what she must be going through for a mother to lose her 5 kids. And I do sympathize with her. But it made me realize when I was going through the comments, it made me realize that a lot of people actually do not, will I say they don't know how to sympathize, or it's just not in their nature to. We tend to look for fault first. We tend to blame the other person, and it's really sad. Okay, I'll give an instance of what happened to me. I had my second dose of vaccine. I think that I took Pfizer, and I was going to work that day. I was on the closing shift. I have never ever been late since I started. I'm always at work 15 minutes before my shift. Getting to the office, I was 3 minutes late. And the very first thing my boss said, I greeted him, and he was just, "You're 3 minutes late." My mood was already, I was tired, I was weak, I was feeling really shitty because of the vaccine already. And the last thing I needed was to hear, "You are 3 minutes late." I didn't say anything. Nothing. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. It's maybe it's the country or it's the nationality. Then a friend of mine was telling me what happened in her office. Her colleague, her parents were COVID positive, and they were old, like they're old already, they're advanced. And we know how deadly the virus can be for the old ones. And she was panicking. she wasn't focused at work, and she told immediately she heard the news from the house that her parents are ill and there's actually nobody there to take care of them, because basically all they have is themselves, like back home. Then she told the manager that she wants to go home to take care of them at least, and she wasn't caring if maybe she contacts that was like the list of her problem, but what she was concerned which was going home and taking care of the people she is doing the work for. And the manager said, like, the manager said immediately in that spot, you can't go. The company cannot afford to lose you at this time. And I'm like, okay, all right. It's what would she say, the manager now, what would she say if tomorrow her worker gets the call that the parents passed away? Do you think she will continue working there? Do you think her mental health has already deteriorated? Like, she's not in her right frame of mind to even work, to even give her best. And it's not, okay, I'll talk to the HR, let's see if we can do something. It just made me realize people actually don't have sympathy, or they don't know how to express it. I'm trying to understand why people would act this way. And even you listening, my lovely listeners and my viewers, I do hope that you have that shed of humanity, let me put it like that, because the world is a shitty place we live in, and we owe it to everybody, every single person, irrespective of what that person may look like, sound like, if you have a relationship with that person or not, if you are acquainted, you owe it to each and every person to be nice, to be understanding. You owe it to humanity to be that, because you don't know, as I said last week, you don't know what people are going through. The fact that they're walking and just trying to smile, you don't know the problems they carry. And back home would say everybody with in own, let me put it like that. But it's not so, because the thing is, if you were in the other person's shoes, you won't want to be treated that way. So if you don't want to be treated that way, why do you treat people that way? Or why do you give room for that to happen? Then last week I got me and my friend who were talking, and she was giving me gist about what happened in the office, and she said the manager's dad is COVID positive. And the first thing subconsciously I was like, hey, yeah, he's old. He said yes, he's old, like he's really old. He's like, he'll be fine. Then I'm like, wait, hold up, whose dad is COVID positive? And like the manager, I'm like, the same manager that did not let someone go home to take care of her parents. Okay, all right. You know what I said last week? One thing I love about life is what goes around comes around. Even if we don't pray for it to happen, but the thing is, I so love and I stand by the golden rule: do to others what you want them to do to you. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And I'm like, she's not going anywhere. The company cannot afford to lose her right now. She can't afford to leave. No, it's not right. If you can't let your junior, you can't do something, at least let the person know that, okay, this person cares about me. See, you might be going through chaos. Yeah, you might be going through chaos, but the fact that you know that there's somebody there that cares about you, that's showing that they care about you, trust me, it makes it makes life not so shitty. Let me put it like that. The way that saying goes, a problem half shared is a problem half solved. To know that there's someone actually there that genuinely, honestly cares about you, that understands what you are going through, and even if they don't have the resources to make you feel better, but you know that they're doing everything in their power to make you feel better. Now the thing is, everybody can't be the way we are. I grew up growing up, yeah, my big mommy, she's basically the nicest person I have ever seen, I have ever come across. We'll basically have maybe one cup of rice to eat at home, and there's somebody, maybe she went to church and she heard the church member doesn't have food to eat. You see that cup of rice, she's going to go and give. Like, it pisses me off. Growing up, yeah, that thing used to piss me off. If it wasn't, I come back home and I can't find my clothes because she has given it to somebody, or the last money that we had already used budgets to buy something, she has given it to somebody. It's till today, each and every person she has helped over time, I know I have ripped from her good. I know definitely I have ripped from her good. But the thing is, now subconsciously being in that environment, even as much as it pissed me off, because don't worry, it did piss me off a long time when I really didn't understand. But now, not now, for a very long time, I find myself subconsciously being kind to people, actually wanting to help, wanting to listen. And the thing is, I get that not everybody can do that. Not everybody know how to do that. So where do you come in? If you want people to do that to them. Then even if they don't do it now, they don't do it in 10 years, but treat people the way you want to be treated. Even if they lack the ability to do that, treat people the way you want to be treated. Understand where people are coming from, sympathize with them. It's a lot of things go on in the world we are in today, and as I always say on the show, COVID has taught us a whole lot. Like, if you haven't learned anything from COVID, trust me, I have. Back home, we say COVID isn't real. It hasn't killed anybody. We know. Well, I know someone that has died of it. And the thing is, we try to make excuses, or when things happen to people, we start looking for fault. We start trying to blame them. The last thing I know personally, the last thing I need when I am at my weakest, when I'm at my lowest, is for you or anybody else to blame me for it. But the thing is, we subconsciously do that. And even I myself, I know a couple of times I have done that. Instead of understanding this person's emotions, I end up judging. And it's not right. It's honestly not right. Try and be there for people. Try and sympathize. Try and understand. Try and be kind. Because the thing is, if we don't do that, if we don't help these people, it's, the Bible says on the last day, if you had the opportunity to, I'm just paraphrasing, if you had the opportunity to preach to somebody or to win this person's soul, and you did not, he said what? I will ask for that person's blood. That is you. It's basically, so whatever happens to that person, I'm not saying it's your fault, but you did have a role to play in it. You definitely had a role to play in it. Because it's when it's chaotic, we need somebody to be there. Like, you have no idea how just being there can lift a burden. Just knowing that there's someone out there, or you prevented something from happening. Because a lot of us, we don't know the extent of mental illness or the things that can cause mental illness. And it's the little things. It's actually the little things. When we hear of things happening today, there's depression, there's anxiety, and you can't even help. Instead of you helping, you're adding to this person's problem. Why are you gonna do that? So I don't know who's listening today. I don't know if you're on the good side or the bad side. But what I do know is this: what goes around comes around. Treat people the way you want to be treated. If you're in a position to help somebody, do that. You might not have all the finances in this world, but I do know that we can help by being there, by calling, by sympathizing. It's the little things that actually make a difference. Okay? So be nice. It actually doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost anything for you to care. It actually doesn't cost anything for you to care. Because when you don't, your mental health is at risk. And there's this joy that comes from actually doing good, from actually knowing that you helped somebody. And when the person is talking about their journey, you're like, oh yeah, I did this. Or you might not even do it for a reward, but that person knows your effect in his or her life, what you said at that time, what you did at that time that made the problem not so much. And I think that's what really matters, making someone feel good. Making someone feel good. Try to lessen the burden a bit. It's important. I know I need that. I have that. I have my family to do that. I have my friends to do that. But a lot of people do not. So it's not written on their forehead, definitely. But in a way, try and be nice. Try and care by the comments you even put online. Like, social media we are not even going to dive into that today. But try and show sympathy in situations. Just try. It doesn't cost you much, anyways. That is all the time that we have for today. I hope I made sense. I know I was jumping from one conversation to the other, one point to the other, but basically try and understand people's emotions. It's not easy. Yes, it's not easy, but try make an effort to be kind, make an effort to do good. It affects our mental health. That is just the truth. It's affecting our mental health. And if we are there for each other, I think the world will be a much, much, much better place. That being said, I will talk to you guys next week. Same time, same place. I love you. Do drop a comment, repost. And if you ever feel the need to talk, if you ever feel the need to rant, send me a message. You never know. Bye guys, stay safe. COVID is real. Get vaccinated, and even when you are vaccinated, still keep safe. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Thank you. If you have any suggestions for the pod, do let me know. If you want to come on the pod, do let me know. Last week when I said that, someone said we should do toxic relationships. I should revisit the topic toxic relationships, and I should revisit addiction, pornography, and alcohol. So if you do want me to revisit that, do let me know. If you want me to revisit that. Be safe, okay? Thank you so very much. I love you. I'm rooting for you. We are going to make the world a better place, okay? Bye.